Hello there, welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, I will take you through the process of exporting ODI 12C components using ODI tool Smart Export. So let's begin. I'm going to log into ODI 12C Studio. It's coming up. Welcome one and log in. Over here we are in designer tab and this is the project you were working on. Demo sales administration. In that there are various mappings. I am going to take you through the process of transferring mapping from this ODI. Consider this as a development ODI repository. Once you are done with your component development, you will take it and move it to the next instance, which might be a system integration test instance, or it might be user acceptance testing instance, or it might be production instance. So that is where you will import it. But before that, the first step is you have to export this component, in this case this mapping, from this instance, and that's what you are going to do in this lecture. So the steps for that is click on here and click on export. Over here you will see several options, but the best one and by far the best practice is to use Smart Export. Very good. Click on Smart Export and over here provide the file where you are going to save this export file. It will be in .xml format. Give it a proper name so you will remember. I am going to call it load trg city mapping from test from dev. Let's say this is from my dev instance. Export key, confirm export key are not mandatory, but if you are working in a very secure environment, they might ask you to put these encryption keys so that after export, even if the file is stolen or something, nobody can import it without knowing those keys. In this case, I'm not going to use that. So over here you put the file name, which is going to be created with all the export components. Next is to select the objects to be exported, and that is this guy here. So just take it and just grab it and put it here. Over here it shows that you are exporting this mapping load trg city, and along with that mapping it brings in the related models which are being used in this, and also the topology, and it also shows dependency, what all dependencies this component has, like from which knowledge modules it is picking data, from which data models it is picking data. And that's why I always recommend to use Smart Export and Smart Import, because it takes care of exporting and importing all the components related to the component you are migrating. Very good. Once this is done, you have selected the object to be migrated and went through the dependencies. Click on export button. You will get this message. In case like me you have not put anything for export key and confirm export key, it's just warning. You can always disregard that and say yes. Very good. So export is done, the export file is created. and this is a summarized report of what has been exported. It has complete list of the components which have been exported. Along with the mapping, it has exported all the components which are dependent on this mapping, without which the mapping is not complete. So you will see the list of all those components here. It's always good practice to save this report. And when you save this report, I always save it as HTML, easy to view, and I give the same name, load trg city mapping from dev and then doc. It is going to save at the same place where the XML is saved. That's it, very good. And now it's time to go to that folder and see that the file is saved there. This is that folder. You got both the files, export.xml file with all the components and that .html file, the report. Remember, we have a shared folder which is shared with your Windows. So next step is to copy these two components in that folder, so that when you go to the next ODI repository, which will be your test or production, whatever, wherever you want to migrate, you can take it from your share folder and import it in that instance. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to copy these two files and I will put it in my shared folder here. Very good. And in the next lecture, I will import these two components in my test ODI repository, which will be a different repository. So I am moving these components from development instance to test instance. I will see you in next lecture.